Hi, welcome to Street Priest Ministries. I'm your host, Brother Jay, as we're taking the Gospels back to the streets. Today's drive-through message is Daniel in government. Now, the reason I chose Daniel's in government because we have a need now that there's a purge going on by God Himself. He's purging corruption out of government. I believe God called and anointed and appointed President Trump to do the job, take his golden broom and sweep the halls of government clean. And that's what he's doing. But there's going to be a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. So someone's got to fill that vacuum. And this is a call to arms for you Christians to fill that vacuum. And reason I'm teaching on Daniel, because Daniel was a bureaucrat. He worked for the government. That's what he did. But he never sold out to the government, and he recognized God as a higher power always to bow to, and not government. It's the reason he was thrown in the lion's den. I've taught on. You can get that teaching. Daniel in the lion's den, I already taught on it. But my angle is, like I said, every character has different facets, multifaceted, and so is it with Daniel. I've taught on him for us from the age of the beast. You can get that teaching dealing with his prophecies. I taught on Daniel in the lion's den dealing with his faith, refusing to bow to Nebuchadnezzar's false god. And now I'm going to teach on another angle of Daniel as a bureaucrat working for the government. But he was faithful in what he did. He did it as unto the Lord. He had integrity. He was honest. And actually, Daniel, as I recall, was like third in the kingdom for his promotion. He got promoted. Wherever God places you, if you're a school teacher, be salt. The Bible said we're the salt of the earth, us Christians. Be salt in the school system. In my early years, I changed so many hats. Construction is my main trade, but I've worked a lot of side jobs helping them, trying to help support my young family. So I took on jobs in the school district as well as, in government there, I worked in Hollywood. I did what I had to do to support my young family. But I was always salt wherever I was. And you can be too. Wherever you are. Just like Daniel was. So we're going to read about Daniel here. We'll start at, because we're going to do skip tracing with Daniel, chapter 2, verse 14. Then Daniel answered with the counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said unto Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the king known to Daniel, made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king he would give him time, that he would show the king the interpretation. Now, an edict went out. King had this vision of this image, and nobody could tell him what the dream meant. So the king was furious. In came the lying magicians, soothsayers, and he said, no, you guys are not going to hoodwink me. You're going to tell me the vision first. You're going to tell me what I dreamed first. Then interpret it. He made it a little hard for them. They couldn't do it. They said, this is unheard of. He said, no, you're not going to get me with lying. You're lying soothsaying. So Daniel was a man of God with gifts. And so he goes to God with it. And so we're reading. Then Daniel went in and these people, by the way, hated Daniel. And that's how it is when you work in government. I mean, the knives, cloak and dagger thing, knives in the back. It's famous for bureaucrats. It's almost in any institution, organization, corporate, whatever. You're going to have some Machiavellianism going on, but it's really famous in government. And they were out to get Daniel, but here's Daniel trying to save their neck. But I would just give you an example of integrity. Then we'll skip over to then the king asked, verse 26, same chapter. The king answered and said unto Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar? Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, the interpretation thereof? And Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, and the magicians, and the soothsayers show unto the king? But there is a God. He said they can't show it unto you, but there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came unto thy mind upon thy bed, which should come to pass hereafter, and he that revealeth secrets made known to thee what shall come. And then he tells the king, I'm going to skip all that because I already, like I said, if you want that teaching, get Age of the Beast. He talks about the image and describes it. And I already taught on that. I want to cover that again. Okay, verse 46, chapter 2, verse 46. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face. That's after he done told him an interpretation of the dream. Told him the dream first, then the interpretation of the dream. Then King Nebuchadnezzar, you can read that for yourself if you want to read it. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face and worshipped Daniel and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God, he's his God too, man. He made him too, he made the earth and everything in it. But he said that your God is God of gods and Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man. Daniel got a promotion. See how God looks out for his own? When you put God first, God's always. I haven't been a job I haven't got promoted on. Pretty much most of my life, including now. I've owned my own business. I own my own business now. But the point I'm making, most of my life, when I worked at JOB, I've always gotten promoted. It's just how God does his people. Same here with you just faithful. You work as you work under God. Do what you're supposed to do. Honesty, integrity. Report to work on time. Do what you're told. Keep your mouth shut. And you'll see that you'll get promoted. You'll get that raise. You'll get what you're asking for. You'll get tenure in the company. You can retire, whatever, if that's your aim. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler. Now Daniel's working for the government. Keep this in mind. The king represents government. And made him ruler over a whole province of Babylon and chief of the governors of all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king. Now, so I told you he's like third in the kingdom. He was a governor. And a high respected priest as well over, because Daniel was part of the priestly bunch, represented the sages, the wise men. He was over them as well. That's why they hated him. You can always have white hats and black hats in government. You always have white hats and black hats in government. It's just the way it is. But you don't have to become one of them. What happened with our nation, in our government, it got steeped and the black hats took over. became steeped in debauchery, corruption, occultism, child pedophilia, and worse. And God's purging this nation right now of these evil men and women that sold out to mammon. God is purging, and he needs that void filled with men and women of faith. He needs salt to replace the vacancies that are going to be left through the prosecutions, resignations, and everything else. It's going to be a mass purge that's going on. You'll see. I'm telling you ahead of time. God gives his men and women vision to see ahead of time. We're on top of the mast of the ship with our periscopes seeing far ahead before it gets to. We don't have to feel it to believe. We see it before it happens. It's going to happen. So you need to get your applications in to fill these voids in all areas of government, based on whatever you qualified to do. You know what you're qualified to do. Or even some of you step out on faith. OJT, on-the-job training, is still in effect in a lot of job cases. Learn as you go. You know, just put in your resume and see what happens. But God's doing a purge of this nation. There's going to be openings from Congress all the way down to the local police department, school district, news media. A lot of you have taken it, and I'm happy to see that. A lot of you become your own independent news media sources. That's great, to get the truth out. We've been on a project, Mockingbird, so long, and most people don't understand that they've been living in an Orwellian 1984 world for years, since the 60s. Actually, before that, but it really culminated in the 60s, where everything's a lie in the news media, propaganda. Everybody should be getting gerbil awards. It's a so-called prominent network. Be your own news media. They could be independent, or I'm sure there's going to be ones that there's going to be a purge of them too. Go apply and tell the truth. You got a handful on certain news media channels that are doing that. The Ann Vanguards, they're already doing it. You be one. Be an Ann Vanguard. So this is a call for Daniels to come forward. Just like you just read about this Daniel here and how he conducted himself. Keep God first, don't sell out. The perverts are being purged. Don't need to have to sell your ass or price tag hanging out and none of that no more. God is doing a cleansing of corruption in this nation. The United States is blessed. And you prophets of doom, stop prophesying evil on this nation. You're wrong. This is the church of the open door age. God is going to get his gospel out before his son returns to this dark globe. And this nation here has been chosen to rise from the dustbin of history, take the world stage, and become a beacon of light to get the good news out of Jesus saves with no buts attached. The gospel. That's what this nation is called to do. So stop being purpose to do and prophesying evil on this nation. God has ordained this nation and Israel as well as to be blessed, to be his oracle people. This is not a time of judgment. God is right now is judging the corrupt system. There's a judgment on the corrupt system. There's a judgment on these pervert elite. These New World Disorder fascists. It's a purge of them going on. God's cleaning house. You overlook, there's a part in the Bible, I believe it's either in Joel or Zechariah, where he talks about he's going to pour out his spirit on all flesh, all the nations. He's going to exalt his son. Jesus said, when I come, when I find faith in her. This is that moment here. We're at that stage in history. The church of the open door. The Philadelphia church. Stop trying to paint gloom and doom. You gloom and doom Kabbalists, you. All right. Hope you enjoyed this and you guys become Daniels and rise to the occasion. Daniels in government, Daniels in all aspects of, especially, in our universities. God knows we need a bunch of Daniels in there. I mean, Alinsky and Lenin will be handing out awards for all the communist professors that's there now. I'm sure they would have a field day. So we need Bible-believing people to fill those voids too as well. Christians in those positions, people of moral fiber in those positions. All right. Sergeant Salt checking out. Good day, good evening, good night to you around the world. Oh, almost forgot. This message, if I'm the one that taught you, go to streetpriestministry.org, bring your tithes, first fruits, in the alabaster box. If I'm the one that taught you. Good day, good evening, good night to you around the world. May you be blessed and grow in faith. In Jesus' name.